Worship the Creator, not the creation. That's what Guideus TV is all about. And now we have the new app, guideus.app. Download the app and it will take up no space on your device. Works on all devices, all phones, all tablets, all computers, anywhere there's internet, it works. More. If you want to know who that creator is, if you want to share the message of worship the creator, not the creation, you can just, and that's our motto, worship the creator, not what he created. Yes, yes, yes. Interrupted that promo to tell you that we're coming to you live, well, almost live, from somewhere in Southern California. Yeah. All right, and we have a special guest with us tonight. He's always special, but tonight he's going to be our guest as well as being special. MashaAllah. Let us bring him out right now with a great big hand. Well, that's the biggest hand I got right there.
And
Assalamu alaikum, Richard.
Alaikum salam, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We're having fun tonight.
Nice night, beautiful night.
Well, you know what? We've been talking every night about this COVID virus, and I wish that we could get off of that. And but there's not going to be much difference tonight because one of the things we got to talk about is what's the condition. And I found out that Israel is the one that is the country most respondent to the vaccination. They've already had over 76% of the folks there in Israel have already been vaccinated. So they got on the ball, they did their job, and their numbers have dropped down already. So that is really good because at one time, you know, they jumped up, that Israel was one of the top countries for getting the COVID virus. And all of a sudden it just went like that up, and so they're doing much better now. Then the next one after that is the UAE, and they're not even up to, I think was like 30-something%. So about half of what Israel has done, UAE has done, and nobody is touching these guys. They are the top. These UAE is next, and United Kingdom and United States are kind of tied up there. We're kind of close to each other, but we're way down there on getting this job done. So we got to keep working and pressing and going forward so that, we can get something done. To be fair, and we always, as Muslims, have to be fair, that we have to mention the numbers in Israel and the numbers in the UAE are not near as great as the numbers that we have here in the United States. So we've got a much bigger job because we've got about 300 million people here to deal with. Not all of them are eligible for vaccination, by the way. But maybe something like 20%. So what is 20% of 300 is like 60 million, something like that. So we still got to get a lot way to go, a long way to go. Yeah. All right.
Do that, or you can think about moving to Michigan.
I don't even need to think about that. You warned me already, guys. You guys have been telling me all about this freezing cold and all the rest of it. So no thanks a lot. No thanks a Homa. Thanks a lot.
You want to go to Texas?
Huh?
I wouldn't want to go to Texas.
Nope, that's for sure. Texas doesn't look too much better than Michigan or anywhere else on the...
We have, our lights are on.
What?
Our lights are on. We have heat.
Oh, yeah, your lights are on, yeah. Well, that's not the case in Texas. My nephew posted just a little while ago that they got back to their house to see what was going on, and they said the lights are out again, and so they're going to go back over to his sister's house, my niece's house, and my mom's with them. Of course, she lives there, and so yeah.
Well, they have a multiple problem because they're not used to it. They don't have it for preparations, and now their water pipes are starting to burst.
Yeah, that's it. That's the whole thing that he said, that they're on a water well, and when you're on a water well, that complicates matters a whole lot.
Yep. Yes, it does.
Yeah, you don't have the.
They're on their own little grid down there, so they're kind of whatever they have is what they have. But I'll take Michigan. It was a little chilly this morning, but it was only -10 here. I got up this morning, but it's nicer now. It got up to the 20s, and like I said, we have light, we have heat. Our roads are plowed, everything's up and running. And the Detroit metro area, we had a whopping 36 cases of COVID today. That's it.
Wow.
36.
Now that's great that you guys have been able to contain that like that. Wow.
Yep.
Whoa.
And by the end of March, we'll have at least half of the population of Michigan inoculated. Our system's working here. So we're very grateful. Alhamdulillah. Very, very grateful.
Well, it looks like you guys have got everything under control, and I'm happy for you guys. Really, I am. And I'm looking forward to this thing catching on. We were talking about that vaccination when we started the program, and it looks like that a lot of folks are taking this a lot more serious, especially those who are thinking, I'm not going to get that vaccine. It's going to be some gimmick deal. Some people even speculated that they were going to inject a chip into the people. And you know what? That chip would have to be very, very, very small, because that needle that they put in you is so tiny. And if that chip was anything like the phones and stuff that I'm getting out of XYZ company, I don't want to give them a free ad. Yeah, but I'm saying that they don't have to worry about it at all, because none of this stuff is working proper.
Yeah. Well, I've had one shot so far, and next Friday I'll get my second. But my son had his second yesterday, and no complications at all. And so there's some people, having a little headache and fever things, but not lasting but a day. And they're lining up here in Michigan. They're going to get the shot. And my very, very skeptical older brother, he called me the other day, and he had gone and gotten a shot as well. It was like, okay, if he's getting it, then everybody's getting serious.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I am glad to hear that some of the folks that were opposed to this thing, skeptical, etc., I'm glad to hear that they're getting out here and doing the responsible thing. Yeah. Because
go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say that the thing is here, responsibility. It's not just about you. Whenever you think about, I don't want this, I don't want that. Well, I would like for you to think about the people around you who all don't want the COVID virus or any variant thereof. So it is our responsibility to get ourselves as much protected as we can, so that we don't go out here and infect others. Now, here's a side issue, though. Even though you get the vaccine and you're okay for you, it still does not mean that you're not carrying the virus around with you.
No.
That's asymptomatic. I mean, in other words, you're not going to show any symptoms, but you're carrying it. And so therefore, even though you get the shots, you still have to wear the mask, you still have to observe the social distance, and you still have to be careful of what you touch. Don't touch your face, get your hands washed immediately. And now that's going to introduce our program. Tonight we're going to be talking about what the Quran and Muhammad taught us about all of this 1,450 years ago. Yeah. First off, let's start with something that we all know. We all know about social distancing. Well, the Muslims today would like to run up and grab each other, hug each other, but that's not what the custom was at the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They reached out and shook hands. That's what they did. They reached out and they shook hands. Yeah, that was the Arab tradition anyway, because they would say that if you hugged somebody, now this is something in their culture, you know, if you hugged somebody, you couldn't kill him.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought we'd get a response out of you on that one, because yeah, that was the thing. If anybody hugged you, yeah, he can't kill you now. So that's good, because he has shown that you are part of his family, more or less, and that is something special. Also, that you could stay with him for 3 days and 3 nights with no questions asked, and you were fed and properly taken care of and had a shelter and a place to lay down. They all slept on the ground anyway, but you'd have a rug or something to lay on. But, you know, that was...
Yeah, everybody in the masjid where I pray is, they've gone to the, you know, the kind of fist or
fist
the elbow.
Bump? The elbow bump? Hey,
No.
Hey.
No hugging or anything, but a little elbow and stuff, so...
Well, even that's too close, because
Probably.
you really shouldn't get that close. Let's move to the next one. The next one is that we're very familiar with is the mask. Usually, when we think of Muslims and the mask, we think about the women. But I don't know if you guys know this or not, but there are a lot of men, Muslims, who wear the face cover. And they do that because they're in the sand, they're in the high winds, and they use a part of their shmug or their scarf. Anyway, they'll pull that around and they cover up their face. And that's very prominent in the northern part of Africa, all the way, Maghreb and I've got to remember them, Egypt and... Yeah, the northern part of Africa. Go look on a map. Anyway, I rushed in here tonight. It's not an excuse, but
I always figured the mask came from Damascus.
Masks from Damascus?
Yep.
Dun, 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 dun.
That was just really kind of...
Okay.
Yeah, everybody's getting creative with the mask. Now, they have them where they're see-through, so you can actually see the person. Or you can get them specialized with sayings and different things. And somebody is making a lot of money selling creative masks. We're going to be around. We're going to have masks for a while.
Yeah, I'm seeing some of these online. Let me see if I can pull one of them up for the folks at home to get a chance to look at this. This is kind of cool. Some of the things, I don't know what this is. I hope it's not, no, I'm not going to show it because I think it's some underwear they use for a mask. Anyway, here you go now. But here's one of my favorites. Check this one out. It looks like the lady has a blue tongue sticking out. MashaAllah. Yeah. And this particular one reminds me a lot of the masks that are worn in certain parts of the Muslim world right now.
Mm.
Yeah. Let's see if we can bring up. Well, I'm thinking. Yeah, here we go. Let's see if that brings it up. Let me see. Try another way. Well, here's one. There's another one. But these are of not related to the religion. Let me put Islam in this search engine and see what we get. There you go. That's what I was talking about. Some of the men are wearing stuff like this. Here's another one. And I don't know how it's showing up on your screen, but
oh wow, yeah, wow,
yeah. I've seen people dressed like this. Okay, I have seen this myself in different parts of North Africa, and yeah, I like this one. Really, that really looks cool. That really looks nice. So let me see what else we can find. Boom. Yeah, well, this is again from the virus. This is not so much from the religion.
Yeah.
Hey, how about a shot inside a prison? How about that? And this, you can see that the people there are guarding themselves against, the guards are guarding themselves against getting the virus or transmitting the virus to the other inmates. That is very interesting to me.
Yeah, it seems like there's quite a bit of outbreak in prisons. I mean, there's somebody gets it, they're confined. There's much more going on there. There's a lot of COVID cases in the prison.
Yeah, that's true. Here's some more shots of the women wearing the masks. That I think this is not for the COVID. I think this is more for the religion. Here's one. Yeah. Now this one right here, you can tell real quick that is the dress mode, the dress thing. Yeah. For Muslims. Let me see if I can put that up a little bit better. Everybody get a better shot. There we go. So, okay, so that's the next one. Now, that one is really, really critical because after the social distancing, what else would you be able to do? Because whenever you sneeze like this, that is coming out at a very high velocity. Faster, yeah, faster than anything. It's almost the speed of sound. Can you imagine this? So, yeah, and when that broadcasts out, because it's so fine, it stays in the air. You think about stuff settling down, but this is really, really fine. And the molecules that contain this virus are right there, and you're walking right into it. When somebody sneezed 10 minutes ago and you walk into it, and you think, oh, no, that's no problem. But you didn't realize what's going on. So, yeah, that is one thing. Now, what about washing the hands? Let's take a look at that one. Now, first of all, does Islam teach you to wash your hands? Well, duh.
Yeah.
I don't know any other religion that emphasizes washing the hands as much as Islam does. We
Washing the hands, washing the arms,
yes,
the ears, the feet. Yeah.
Well, we're going to stick with the hands right now. I don't want to get into the other stuff right now because I wanted to feature this. I wanted people to realize that Muslims have been washing hands for centuries, literally centuries. We have been washing our hands for over 1,400 years. Muslims have been doing this and doing this. How many times a day? Guess what? Yeah. Every time we go to the restroom, we wash our hands afterwards, whether we make wudu or not. And if we make wudu, we wash our hands all the way up to our arms. Yeah. Okay? And we do that at least 3 times on the hands. Then we wash our face, our mouth, our nose, our face, and then our arms. And yeah, we've already washed our hands, but now we're going to wash our arms and hands again 3 times. And then we're going to pick up some water and put it on our head and go all the way back and then forward again and then even clean out our ears. And we're not going to stop there because then the next thing we're going to do is watch what part of our body?
Oh, down to our feet at that point.
The feet, yes, sir. And that is, there you go. You can see that shows washing the feet. And that is not a joke. This is something that Muslims have been doing this for centuries upon centuries upon centuries. And it's not anything lightweight for us. And we've been doing this so long that whenever you type in wash hands, these are actually showing you people in Muslim countries that are washing feet, yeah. But subhanAllah, imagine. And we're getting a lot of free advertising right there too. And that's not all. There's a whole lot more to this than just washing hands and washing feet. When we start getting into this, you're going to learn that Islam prepared us more than any other doctor or clinic or hospital today could have prepared us. Because another thing that we're talking about is the bath. We have a bath. We must take a bath at least once a week. Now, some people, they have a bath every day, and that's fine. But how about this, that it is mandatory in Islam, almost mandatory, okay, that we have a bath every Friday morning before we go for the Jummah Salat. And I'm sure that you've heard about that. Am I right?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So,
absolutely. I'm going to go back to even part of the wudu that is so cleansing when we take the water into our mouth and into our nose and cleanse that all during the day. That is super hygienic.
Well, I want to put up something here that shows people very quickly. Now, this is in Africa, a lot of Muslims in Africa, by the way, and you can see right there that, look at this, and washing the feet. And this is not something new, because originally this was done in the early followers of Jesus, who took the time to prepare themselves as well, and they would used to like to wash each other's feet, because this was more or less ceremonial, but it was to show the humbleness of a person in front of another person to wash their feet for them, because washing the feet is, and most people consider that really dirty. But if you think about it, let me show you one more. And this is a current picture right here. And if you look at that pot right there, that's probably made in the northern part of Africa. And you can see that the people there are pouring water on each other, on their feet. Now, whenever we make wudu, we can take a small amount of water, not even what it would take to fill up this little mug right here, and that's plenty of water, and we can pour a little bit, and we wash the hands, pour a little bit more, wash the hands, pour a little bit more, wash the hands, okay? Then pour a little bit more, and then snuff it up your nose and in your mouth at the same time. Then you spit that out and blow it out of your nose, and then do that again, and then again. So that's 3 times. Then after that, you wash your face with it. Now, just stop and think about all of this that we're doing. And then we wash our arms, okay? All the way up to the elbow. And we're doing this how many times? 3 times on the hands, then 3 times on the arm and the hands. Whoa! And then 3 times, well, we skipped over, but the nose and mouth 3 times, the whole face 3 times, the head 1 time, and the ears 1 time, and then the feet, you can do that once, twice, 3 times. But stop and think about it. We're not doctors, but the doctors got this from the Muslims of Spain over 1,200, about 800 years ago. Yeah, 800 years ago. Can you imagine this? The Europeans got this idea from the Muslims. The Muslim doctors, the practitioners of their time, were the ones that were very instrumental in helping them get rid of the plague, the Black Plague, the Black Death. That was, they called this time the dark ages. This so bad. It really was bad. And what brought them out of it? Well, of course, Allah did. But along the way, look at how it was that they got out of that. SubhanAllah. And we're just scratching the surface right now. We're just scratching the surface. I want to give everybody a chance now. I'm going to be introducing some stuff right after the break. So I want you to take advantage of this time to let everybody know. Now, if you're watching this in the future, this is your great chance to peg somebody. Tell them, post this up and let them see this, because when we come back, we're going to be talking about more things that Islam teaches us to do every day that will help the people right now. Whether they're Muslim or not, all of these things will help. And of course, I think that when they see this, they're going to be amazed, and maybe they'll even consider becoming a Muslim. Who knows? But yeah, let's get them right now. So please share this and stay guided with Guidus TV. We'll be right back right after this. Do something regular every month. Do something, whatever you can do. Don't stop, because that's what will keep this going even after I'm gone. And this is what I would love to see. I'd love to be in the grave knowing that this is going to keep going and growing. And you can make a difference. Do the 3 things that I said. Number 1, pray and ask God to accept it and make it better. Number 2, share the message with others. Let them know what we've got going on. And number 3, if you're able, do something, but do it regular. And that's it for our program tonight. I ask all of you to keep up your prayers, keep up your connection with the law, and stay guided with Guidus TV. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. Guidus TV. Okay, guys, we're back, and I wanted to start out right away by letting everybody know, if you just tuned in and you don't know what's going on, we're talking about the ways that the Quran and the Sunnah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet Muhammad, brought to us that we can use right now to protect ourselves, immunize ourselves, and prepare ourselves in so many ways for this COVID virus that's going around. And then first and foremost, I'd like to let Richard have a chance to talk to us about what it is to care about your neighbors, to take care of your brothers and sisters. And from that is also in Islam and Christianity, as far as that goes, if you really follow it. And I'll let him tell you more about it. Richard?
One of my favorite hadiths of the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is the one that says the Muslim, and you can fit in any word, you can put in any believer, but the Muslim is the brother of his fellow Muslim. He does not wrong him or let him down. The one who meets the needs of his brother, Allah will meet his needs. Whoever relieves a Muslim of distress, Allah will relieve him of distress on the day of resurrection. And as we have, knowledge of our brothers and our sisters, we think of the mask and the social distancing and all the, a little bit of inconvenience. But we care for the other person. We just don't go out and even like you were saying earlier, after we get the vaccine, we still have to be careful because not everybody will have it, and we could be carriers. And so we got to be thinking of everyone around us. I, still so mindful of the Christian teaching, where someone came to Jesus alayhi salam and said, what's the greatest commandments? What's the epitome of everything that Allah wants for us? And he said, you love God, and then love your neighbors yourself. And so, again, another hadith that says you cannot be a true believer until you do not desire for your Muslim brother what you desire for yourself. And so as you would desire to have, someone being considerate of you in wearing the mask and being distanced and making sure that you're going to stay healthy, we would do that for one another. And that's the most important thing. The ones who are, ripping off the masks and saying, well, I don't want to do it, it's a violation of my rights. It's like, it has nothing to do with your rights. It has everything to do with caring for your neighbor. And just the thoughts of carrying COVID and bringing it home, and grandma or an elderly uncle or aunt, they get it and pass away. How horrible one would feel with that responsibility. And it's really so incumbent upon us to care for everybody. And that just means so much more than just praying for them, or it's a practical thing. You read all the teachings of Jesus, alayhi salam, and it was always about caring for the other people. You saw somebody thirsty, you gave them water. If you saw somebody hungry, you gave them food. If somebody naked, you gave them clothes. You see someone who's healthy, you stay away from them and wear your mask so they stay healthy. So it's a very practical thing. It's the things that we have to do every day to show that we love. And we will get to the point when perhaps we can go back to some normal and we can hug and congregate again. But that's not here yet. And I know we get impatient, and I do. I've got 3 children and 7 grandchildren nearby, and I can't go hug them and see them, but I will. And so I will discipline myself. Sometimes it's really hard to take care of the needs of being socially distanced and separate everything, so that I'm just delaying and deferring the joy that I'm going to have down the road. I think the president was saying today that he thought there was a really good chance of things being somewhat back to normal by the end of this year. So when we get down to the Thanksgiving and holiday times, that where last year we couldn't be together, if we're disciplined and take care of ourselves and wash and do all the things we need to do, we can have that, and it will come. But we just can't be selfish and say, well, this mask is uncomfortable, I don't want to wear it. We just got to care for one another.
Absolutely, absolutely right. I 100% agree with that. There's also a hadith that says that whoever believes in Allah and the last day must either say good things or remain silent. Man kana yu'minu billah wal yawmil akhir yaqulu khayr aw yasmut. Let's reflect on that for just a minute, because if we truly believe in Allah and we truly believe in the last day, we realize that our speaking, our speech, our tongue is going to really wind up being one of the big things against us on the day of judgment. So it's better for us, if we can't say anything good, don't say anything at all. And yeah, there's also a hadith, and all of this plays into the idea right now of making our psyche, our inner self, feel better about what's going on around us. And this is something from Islam as well. The Prophet ﷺ said that our relatives, the kinship, is derived from Allah. If anybody maintains the ties of kinship, Allah maintains the ties with that person. But if anybody cuts the ties of kinship, then Allah will cut him off. And I don't want Allah to cut me off. So, yeah, let's all focus on this thing. And I think nobody, let's put this one up. This is in Sahih Muslim, by the way, about service to others, service to mankind. No one who severs the ties of kinships will enter paradise. It's in Sahih Muslim. Nobody who cuts the ties of kinships will ever enter the paradise. Yeah, that's scary. Yes. And when it comes to, here's another one too that we should follow up on as much as we could, because the guests that we have in our house, let's see what it says about our guests. Oh yeah. The one that believes in Allah on the last day shall honor his guest. And that's coming from Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. So the honor that you give to your guest, that's a big, big deal. Yeah. And the opportunity, when we get a chance to serve our guests, this is a big opportunity from Allah. We thank Allah for those opportunities. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the practical side of our faith. We can say we're Muslims. We believe in one God. We believe that Muhammad is the last and final prophet, and all these things we can say. We're Muslims. We believe we're Islam, but it's got to flip over a little further than just verbiage. It's got to take action. It's got to take feet and arms, and or it takes checkbooks. Sometimes we write checks to help the other people, but we have to be mindful of this is a world, a very, very needy world, and we if we're in good shape, we need to help others, and that's true in the Bible. That's true in the Quran. That's true in the Old Testament for the Jews, and I would assume probably even in other religions there's that teaching of caring for other people.
Well, you know what? Let's think about this too. It turns out that we have a caller here, so let's take our caller.
Joe S.H. Yusuf.
Salam alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah.
I want to say something very important. People they should know Trump is shit president. They have to.
Yeah, well, whenever you call up and say things like that, we have to cut that off, because regardless of how you feel, this is exactly what we're talking about. Someone call up and say something bad about another person. That is exactly the opposite of Islam. The exact opposite. So thank you for demonstrating the opposite, okay? And let's talk about this. Allah gave us 2 ears, but one tongue. What does that tell us? And we learned this from Islam. Allah gave us 2 ears and 1 tongue. So we should listen more, talk less, and maybe that will bring a lot of khair. Khair is goodness. Khair in our life. Yeah. So that it's funny that person called right after I set that up to go, and yeah, we got 2 ears, 1 tongue, and learned to listen more, talk less. Yeah. And never ever cut people down. That is not a way. When I first came to Islam, I remember hearing this just as I was making my decision whether or not to accept Islam. I remember hearing this from my dear friend Muhammad Abdul Rahman, who has now passed away. So we say, Rahim Allah, Allah have mercy on him. He told me, never ever scratch the dignity of another person, regardless of who they are. You never scratch their dignity. Even your enemies, you don't make fun of them, you don't put them down, and you don't say things like the person who just called on the phone and said. That is not Islam. That is not acceptable. And yeah. If you truly believe in Allah, this is it should be reflected in your actions. I'll put this one up. Whoever believes in Allah, really seriously believes in Allah. وَمَنْ يُؤْمِنُ بِاللَّهِ يَهْدِي قَلْبَهُ, means whoever believes in Allah, Allah will guide his qalb, his heart. MashaAllah. So, yeah, if a person's heart is guided, then no matter the difficulty around them, they'll be okay. Allah will take care of you. Let me share with you something that Muslims say, Arabs say this. Whenever somebody is leaving, they don't say goodbye. They say, ma salama. Have you ever heard anybody say something like this? Ma salama?
Yes, I have.
Do you know what it means?
Well, it's something to do with peace.
Actually, no. No, that you would say salam alaikum or salam alaik. Salam alaik means peace to you. Salam alaikum, peace to all of you. So what is this? Why ma salama? Why? Do you know why? Allah's name is Salam. One of the names of Allah is Salam. And so I think that this is a real good, I want to put this up and see if I can find, yeah, here we go. Let's put this up so you can all see it. As-Salam, the perfection of the giver of peace. But that's not all. That is not all. The name Salam, we put another way up here for you to see it. Yeah, there you go. This word, As-Salam, is the name of Almighty Allah. That's one of His attributes. And when we say an attribute of Allah, it means He is that. So there is no salam in the universe except that it has to come from Him. So what is salama? This is the security and peace that comes from Allah. Because how in the world could you say, I'm at peace, and you don't have any security, you don't have any safety? So the safety and security of Allah is coming to the one who has this gift, this beautiful gift of salam. And so whenever you find salam, you're going to find this combination not only of peace, but you're also going to find that you have the embodiment of not only peace, but security and safety. Yeah, all of this is very critical for us to avoid depression and getting down and being at the mercy. Really, we'd be at the mercy of the shaitan, the devil, if we don't have a salam. And Islam is coming from the same root as salam. Yeah, that's right. So,
it was interesting today. Social media was ablaze with just really kind of a sad reaction to the death of a national radio broadcaster who, granted, was not super kind and nice, but he passed away today, and everybody just jumped all over him and wished him a journey to hell, and said they're glad he was dead and everything. And it was like, it's another human being. We need to be careful, even our enemies. We love our enemies. We do good to those who despise us. And we just need to be careful with our tongue. You hit it right when we got one tongue and two ears, and that tongue is even in a cave, so to speak. So we need to keep the cave door shut and open the ears.
Yeah, some people posted. I just saw that on the social media what you were talking about, and they made a comment that I didn't see that until we put it up, but I really regret that I didn't look at that a little bit closer. I'm seeing this, by the way, in teeny tiny letters, so that's my excuse, but I feel really bad that somebody said something like this and posted it on the air. And it was somebody that they were putting that up on the air while they were broadcasting television. So Rush Limbaugh was a lot of things, but he was still a human being. And our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam stood up. He stood up when some people were passing by carrying a coffin or something to the gravesite. Okay, and he stood up, and somebody said, "Oh, well, that was a Jew or it was a non-Muslim," and he said, "No." He said, "We have the respect for anybody who passes by, any person who dies. You respect their body." Now, this is interesting because now it gives us a chance to bring up something else. In battles where people are killed, oftentimes the people, the custom really of the winners and the Arabs in the Arab world would go in and mutilate the bodies, cut off the noses, cut off the ears, cut out the tongues, and cut out the liver, cut out all these different things. To show, like, I am not done with you yet. I'm going to do more stuff to you, even though you're already dead. And that was really horrible. Our Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he forbid that. He forbid anybody to do anything like that with the bodies of those who had passed away, and even insisted when there was time to do it, to bury the enemies as well. Yes.
Well, we're quick to judge. We have no idea that in this man or other people's, even in their closing breaths, may have, la ilaha illallah, and we don't know if they did do that or had a change in their heart, and Allah came and met them, and then we're jumping all over a son of or a daughter of Adam. And that's a creation of Allah, and so we're in bad territory at that point.
I think it's important for us to consider this: that anytime somebody passes away, anytime, we should acknowledge that this is a person who has died, and whether or not we agree with their philosophies and their ideas or their religion or anything else, our religion of Islam has taught us that we should have respect. We should have respect. And I want to be sure that we insist as Muslims to show the proper respect. Maybe you didn't like somebody, okay? And well, I'm not asking you to go to their grave and weep for them, but I'm saying that to have the respect that when a person passes away, you don't say anything bad about them. You shouldn't be talking bad about anybody to start with. That's true. That's in the Quran itself, chapter 49, saying to us clearly not to have suspicion about people, and because it could lead to sin, and for sure not to speak ill of anybody, because you might be speaking about somebody who's better than you. And for the men, the same, and for the women, the same. It was saying it very crystal clear. And then it goes on to talk about the word ghiba. Ghiba is to, and it compares it to eating the flesh of your dead brother. Would you like to eat the flesh of your dead brother? And it says, of course you wouldn't. So the idea is hate ghiba, hate backbiting.
Yeah.
And we should be far, far away from all of that. And you have anything to add to that?
Well, yeah, it's, we say, forgive us our sins as we forgive those. And I remember when Osama bin Laden was captured and killed, and just a lot of comments, well, he got his, or he's going to get what's coming to him. And boy, you can't hardly say that without considering that's the last thing that I want for me. I don't want what's coming to me. I want the mercy of Allah. I want the forgiveness of Allah. And if I want that for me, then I need to extend that to others as well, regardless of who they are and what they've done and what they've said. Again, with that same concept, we don't know as a part of their life. We don't know their heart. That's
true. That's very true.
We don't know their heart. We don't know what's in there. Allah knows their heart.
Yeah, let's go to. Yeah, I think it's time. We're going to run out of time, and I wanted to go to some of the other things that Islam is insisting on us doing, is taking care of our body. And if we build our immune system, now we had a long talk about that last night with the doctors. We had 3 doctors on our show last night telling us about the things that are important for us to eat and what to stay away from. And let me just put some of the things up here right now. Take a look at this. Now, you see red meat, fish, olives. You see avocados, broccoli, lemons, apples, grapefruit, nuts, all of the things that we were speaking about last night. The doctors were speaking about it actually, and letting us know how important these things are to our diet. And I think it bears retelling right now about the importance of our diet, because when we understand how deadly, I'm not talking about a little bit of fat here or there, I'm talking about deadly these diseases are when we're ingesting it every day. We don't realize we're giving ourselves the opportunity to die from what we're doing. A lot of pasta, rice, cereals, things of that order, the starches, these can be very deadly to us. A little bit, a few times a week, but we are consuming it like there's no tomorrow. And eating too much red meat. Our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he set an example for us by never having red meat twice one day after the other. One day after the other. He didn't do that. Oh, yeah. And as a matter of fact, very seldom did they have a fire twice, one day after the other, in their home to cook. Yeah, that lets you know they didn't cook. So what about all of the things that we're eating as cooked food? And think about the things that we could eat right now. Let's take a look at some of the things. These are some of the fruits that we could eat. Wow. And how about some of the other, this is some of the fruits and vegetables together. We've got asparagus here. We've got bok choy. I'm looking at that. Carrots and celery. You've got so many things there that you could enjoy. And this, whether you want to take it in a salad or just eat it independent of all of the other things, the idea is this is the way that we should be taking care of ourselves, not eating all of this fabricated food. That a doctor yesterday said something, don't only eat that which will rot before it rots. Only eat the things that will rot before they rot. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, all the preservatives we have in food, that's crazy. That's crazy. You know, just a couple of weeks ago, we had the Super Bowl, and the winning quarterback, he's 41 years old, looks like he's 21, and his diet is amazing. He has never, ever had sugar in his body in any shape or form. He's very, very careful with the vegetables, everything he eats, and he's in amazing shape. And he's won 7 out of 10 Super Bowls, the most prolific quarterback in the history. And it's all diet. And he goes to bed at 8:30 every night, gets a good night's sleep, and takes care of himself. And he's living a very healthy life. And that is just the kind of thing that we talk about, but we end up with, you know, burgers and fries. And
I think that we run out of time. I'd like to come back on this tomorrow and pick up where we left off, because there's a lot to be said for the 10 foods with no sugar carbs, that they're very delicious, by the way. So share this right now and let everybody know what we're talking about. We're talking about the things from the Quran and the Sunnah, and we got a lot more to tell you about. A lot more, that if you adhere to these things, whether you're Muslim or not, you're increasing your immune system, and that's the thing that will keep you away from this, more so than drugs or more so than any kind of medicine you could ever take. Prepare your body ahead of time. It's too late when you already get it, right?
That's right. That's right.
All right. So let's tell everybody what to do. And guys, I want all of you to stay guided with
Guideus TV.
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine? It's our 10th anniversary. Guideus TV on the air for 10 years already. Wow. And we want to keep going and growing. And how you can do that? Join us. Be part of what we are doing with Recite on TV, Bridge to Faith, Simple Reminders with Abu Hafsa, all of these great programs and more coming to you 24 hours a day, no commercials, no advertising, just pure Islam with Quran every hour, with reminders throughout the day what the Hadith teaches. These programs are the only collection coming to us here in America from America, and you can be part of it. Guide US TV. Keep it on. Keep it going. Keep it growing. Stay guided with Guideus TV.